This month, the UK Prime Minister announced a £30 million boost to a government scheme providing start-up loans to entrepreneurs in England for those entrepreneurs aged between 18 and 30. Launched last summer, the Start-up Loans Initiative now has an arsenal of an excess of £110 million and aims to launch over 40,000 businesses. James Caan's joined us. Not only is he chairman, of course, of the Start-up Loans Initiative, but he's also a co-anchor at CNBC, anchor of the Business Class, which was immensely successful, the first series.
Did extremely well, delighted with the show.
Yeah, you enjoyed it, yeah?
No, fantastic.
Because, of course, you're of Dragon fame, those who've watched Dragon's Den, but now you're an anchor as well.
Yeah, I mean, you know, variety is the spice of life, isn't it?
Is there anything you're not doing at the moment?
Well, no, this is my main focus, is the government scheme. I mean,
so tell us a little more about it.
We did the pilot scheme from September through to December, and I'm delighted to say we started 460 businesses in the first quarter of the last quarter. So far this year, we're now up to about 100 businesses a week, which is why I think the government were quite excited and gave us a boost of another 30 million. But the key thing that they also did was extend the age group. The age group used to be up to 24, it's now up to 30. So I think overall, the expectation for me this year is probably with the current backing and the funding I've got available, I should be able to do at least 10,000 new businesses this year.
The problem I have, James, is that not everyone can be James Caan. Not everyone can be a successful entrepreneur as well. And getting 18 to 24-year-old young people, I won't patronise them by calling them kids, but young businessmen to do that, you're going to have a really high failure rate, aren't you?
Well, I think we're expecting that this is going to be quite challenging. Having said that, I'm not looking to start the next James Caan or the Richard Branson. What I'm looking for is to create jobs. If we can provide capital to young people to start a business that they can make maybe £20,000 a year, £30,000 a year, starting a local business, be it online or, you know, we just backed somebody yesterday who's a young lady, just graduated, fashion designer. She's making dresses for the local boutique that she works with. It's going to generate her maybe £1,500, £2,000 a month. To me, that's creating jobs, and all I need her to do is hire 1 or 2 people with her, and we could have created 50,000 jobs. So this is about jobs and also giving young people encouragement, because even when I think they may not make it, I think it makes them more employable, having that journey of starting a business.
Let's just follow this up a bit. Rather than rebasing the UK economy, gents, as well, what about sticking to what we're good at, and that is creating more SME jobs as well? Because SME is very important. I mean, we hear about it in the United States, we hear about it globally. Is that where we should be concentrating on areas and putting much more money into that kind of area? I mean, £110 million is great, but it's a drop in the ocean compared with the overall budget for the UK economy. Should we be increasing that rather than worrying about large set-piece schemes?
Well, I think both are important. I think actually the UK, it is certainly an area where the UK and really across Europe we could do better in terms of creating entrepreneurial startups. It is somewhat damning on European industry that a lot of the best entrepreneurs feel they have to go to the US often to start up their firm. So no, I think this is a great initiative and hopefully progress in this area.
Nick?
Well, it's certainly true in general that it's small and medium-sized businesses that create jobs, and very big businesses are usually on the, you know, in reverse gear to some extent, consolidating. So what I was going to ask you, actually, I mean, obviously it's terrific, anything that sort of changes the culture more towards, you know, entrepreneurial behaviour. I was wondering about the nature of the bank financing, because I remember in the US, where if you're the next age group up and you want to raise finance in the US, often you can raise non-recourse loans from your bank, where the loans are, well, obviously as everyone around this table knows, are to your enterprise rather than to you. Whilst typically in the UK, the bank will want your house put up as security and so on, and that raises the bar for failure for a kind of, you know, 35, 40-year-old executive who's looking to perhaps start a new business. And I was just wondering about your views on that.
Well, our loans, what we're providing, are unsecured. So this is the capital that I'm providing is the toughest type of capital you can raise as an entrepreneur, because it's that first seed capital where you have no track record. The business is really as a fledgling business, and that's the bit the banks frankly are not in the market of lending to. So I'm providing what I think is that so much needed capital that gives that entrepreneur a chance. And even if you look at Silicon Valley, I mean, somebody had to start somewhere. You know, the Americans took a leap of faith, created that venture capital market, and today some of the largest companies in the world exist because of that. So I'm hoping that we're going to be in a position to give these people the platform to build something that could become significant in the future. You know, if you look at Tech City, literally in the last few years we've gone from like 40 companies to nearly 1,200 companies just in East London. So I think the government today are doing fantastically well in encouraging enterprise business, because it's the only sector of our economy today that is actually creating jobs.